Now, as Israel awaits hostage release, President Donald Trump's big statement seems to be coming on Israel-Hamas war, where Trump is of the opinion that Israel-Hamas war is now over and Israel and Hamas will hold ceasefire deal. As Trump is saying that the war is over assertion that has now been coming at a point where both sides have been welcoming this development in the Middle East. Now, on being asked whether the war between Israel and Hamas is over, President Trump says the war is over. On being asked if he is confident that the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas is going to hold, he says that I think it is going to hold and there is a lot of reasons why it is going to hold. But I think the people are tired of it. It's been centuries, according to President Trump. Well, Israel that is now waiting for this final deal there as far as when it comes to the return of the hostages is now concerned. But President Trump is of the opinion now that the war between the two sides, which have continued for over 2 years now, asserting that the war is now over, as he is now welcoming this deal and the ceasefire will hold as he expected when it comes to Israel, which is waiting for Hamas to release the remaining of the hostages under the terms of the ceasefire deal that has been reached upon. And Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has said that the day is going to be a beginning for a new path, but he has still, however, warned that there are still very big security challenges that lie ahead. But this is now coming in as a big statement from the President of the United States. Now, as far as Donald Trump is concerned, he's en route Israel, and Trump's statement is coming just ahead of his Israel visit, saying that it is an honor to be involved and we're going to have an amazing time as far as the preparations are on for the hostage release, as the President of the United States himself is going to be present ahead of his trip to Israel, especially when it comes to cheering at this time. He believes that something like this has never happened before, and for him it is an honor to be involved when it comes to the ceasefire deal, which is, according to him, will bring the war to an end finally. Well, exchange for the hostages, Israel is also expected to release over 250 Palestinian prisoners and 1,700 detainees from Gaza, including nearly, when we speak of these clashes that has been reported, the Prime Minister of Israel continues to maintain that the security challenges still lie ahead, but the deadline for Hamas to release all of the remaining Israeli hostages is just few hours away, as the phase 1 of President Trump's plan for peace in Gaza now seems to be taking shape. The US President is now traveling to Israel along with the members of his administration. Srinjoy, good morning, where he says that he will be greeting the freed hostages.
Yes, this is a forward movement. This is an effort to ensure that there is lasting peace in the Middle East. Now, there have been efforts like this in the past. Let's not forget that moment when Rabin and Arafat shook hands, and that was in America. The president was Bill Clinton. There have been several presidents after that. At that time, it was felt that peace in the Middle East had arrived, because here was Arafat shaking hands with Rabin. Rabin later said that it was like taking poison, but nevertheless it was actually an event, a biggest moment as far as peace in the Middle East was concerned. And it then all fell apart. Now there is again a hope of peace. First of all, there has to be a ceasefire. And then there has to be the exchange, the return of the hostages. There are still 20-odd hostages who are alive. The bodies are also of some hostages are with the Hamas. They have to be returned. So you have a ceasefire, you have a pullout by the Israeli army, then you have a return of the hostages. Some Gazans who are in jail in Israel are also returned, along with a few people from Hamas. Then come the other steps. But let these steps happen first. And once these steps happen, then there can be talk of a long-term peace. At this point, we are looking forward to the pullout of the Israeli army, the ceasefire, and very importantly, the return of the hostages. And they've been hostage for over 2 years. It's important that they be returned, and that moment is is just
this
about
historic
to
moment
happen.
as President Trump saying that the war is over in Gaza as he flies to Israel for the release of the hostages. We're going to play out his reaction on what he said.
It's going to be a good one. So this is going to be a very special time, and I guess if you read your own papers and your own networks, everybody's very excited about this moment in time. So I'll see you on the plane. I think you're traveling with us, but this is a very special event. They had 500,000 people yesterday and today in Israel, and also the Muslim and Arab countries are all cheering. Everybody's cheering at one time. That's never happened before. Usually if you have one cheering, the other isn't. The other is the opposite. This is the first time everybody is amazed and they're thrilled, and it's an honor to be involved, and we're going to have an amazing time, and it's going to be something that's never happened before. So I'll see you on the plane, and we're going to have a good time. Okay, Peter? Nice to see you. Thank you, everybody. See you in a little while.
All right. Srinjoy, Donald Trump, sounding positive on this development, saying that this is for the first time that both sides are welcoming this development. But what are the terms of the ceasefire that has been when it comes to release of all of the remaining hostages? What is the time exactly that has been relayed?
Well, it's going to happen very shortly. Sometime today is what we are looking at. At least a full announcement will be made about the timing, and of the exact details will be available to us later in the day. But it's important to note that this is just the first step. Once the hostages are returned, then the process of food trucks entering Gaza, and then in the long term, the reconstruction of Gaza. Let's not forget, it's been bombed and bombed, and the rubble has been bombed.
Well, although no time has been given, but Israel says that it is expecting all of the remaining living hostages to be released as soon as possible, and that's going to happen very soon as far as Donald Trump himself is reaching Israel. But there is another development, Srinjoy.